I'm sorry about that. Hey everyone, am I on? Am I live? Am I check? Yeah. Hey everyone, how? Oh, I thought I cut this off. How is you? I hope you're. Lord, I hope you're all right. Um, I don't know what's going on here today. So my internet was out from about 12:30 to about look at the the grainy image about 10 to 15 minutes ago. Less than that actually. Uh, at about 10 at about 6:10, I was about to get on my phone and see if I could rig a like a just a 10-minute show to let whoever tunes in nightly know that I was trying to be here, but something happened and I couldn't be here. And then but yeah, 6 days, 6 days, 6 hours without internet. And you realize, huh, man, I'm really addicted to this TV stuff. I went into the other room to watch Netflix, realized, oh, my Netflix ain't shit without an internet connection. There's a lot of channels with these smart TVs that you get, Pluto and all this stuff. And then those things weren't running with no connection. I was just kind of like, and then I started thinking, if I got rid, of my cell phone, right? Because at this point, the way they worked it is you're gonna have a cell phone forever, right? And the newest model until you're an old person, then you need those big buttons, right? And I was like, if I gave up my cell phone and stopped carrying a cell phone around, right? Call me on my home phone. I think the world has moved past that, right? I would need a cell phone. And on top of that, there's a ton of pictures throughout the years, even though this is a new phone. There's a ton of pictures throughout the years, a ton of text messages with people. How would you operate without a phone? You make yourself like a hermit. And I've got this thing on the side of my face. I can see it and it's killing me. So this one may go just 20 minutes, just because my town is having internet issues. Um, and at first, I don't think this is this the the app. I think it's the my own internet connection, which is why it looks so bad. Hey, William, good to see you. I hope all is going well with you this Monday. This Monday, I am a mess. This Wednesday, this Tuesday. Wow, yeah. So, but here's the thing. I'm so weird. I was like, all right, well, my internet's out for this time. I made some calls, did some things. I was like, maybe I'll just play the guitar. But I could not play because I kept thinking about, man, I shouldn't be so undone by not having internet connection. But I was so undone, I could not stop thinking about it. Ugh, it's winter. Ugh. So remember, boys and girls, this internet addiction, this tech life stuff that we got going on, it is an addiction. You're gonna need it forever. And one day you're gonna have to decide when to cut it. Look, I gave up Facebook. I thought Facebook was evil, essentially, and my whole family's on it. And I walked away from it like I want to say about 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago now. Um, was on Instagram. Then I realized Instagram is owned by Facebook, and evil is evil, right? So then got kind of like posting enough stuff on my Instagram account. I want to say about a year ago, a year and a half ago. It's like a little left of that. Uh, and then I'm also realizing one man cannot change the world. I'm doing this shit by myself like some fucking crazy person, right? Because in 5 years, not even 5 years, right? But it'll be like, who doesn't have a cell phone? That guy's crazy. He's a hermit. He lives in a. It'll be that same kind of energy, and people will forget. Actually, they don't. People tell you that this shit is bad for you. People don't care to keep their kids around it. You know, I've had more than one stupid site ruin a relationship, and before that, women would read these magazines telling you drop that with that hero this, that, the other thing. So they were still being influenced by this kind of like, tower from the distance saying stuff to you. And as a guy, I'm look at this. Look at this freaking this image is horrendous. And as a guy, I was told the same thing too, right? I don't remember women not being naked growing up, whether it was commercials or movies, right? It's always this kind of like sex and violence energy in America. And yeah, just sitting up here wondering what is going on with my goings on. That's it. So you don't want to be a part of it, then you remove yourself. But at this point, it's like giving up cars. I know what you're the only one walking on the side of the highway because you don't want to poison the atmosphere, the environment. Um, and here you are, a lone weirdo, being a lone weirdo. And when you do stuff like that, you just stand out and you draw attention to yourself. And this, I gotta tell you, I could be a hermit. I really could at this point in my life. I can live with very few things in a very small space by myself and see no one. You still be a weirdo, all right? America is not anything it says it is. So, what's your dream? All right, you better be able to get a giant house off it if it's to be legitimate, right? The environment is crazy. Instead of an environment of where everybody can find their own whatever, you have to be this thing. What's the thing? I think it's have to be money driven, sex and violence driven, hateful of, you know, whoever the media is trying to get you to be hateful of. All right, so yeah, now I've got 11 messages. Jeez. Outrageous. Yeah, man, I don't know. The whole thing is just it had me just thinking like, man, I'm such a fucking weird it's sort of ridiculous. What is this now? NYPD harasses this subway rider for having the nerve to ask him to put on mask. And then it's the arrogance of people. You can't eject people from the subway because your feelings are hurt. And I was, oh man, can I even show you this? Let's see if I gotta hook my top cops are caught on time on film and just abusing people. Here we go. We're having issues with the stream already. This time I can't even say it's anything other than my connection to the world apparently. Yeah, it's the arrogance of like people need to lose fight. Oh, you're eventually people will realize I'm in the service business and I'm not in the fucking pugilist business. And I blame American citizens. You let the cops beat up innocent people for 300 years. And this is and like I say, I always use the water will spill and run into your lap, right? Spill all over. You have a nice little cup of racism, and now it's spilled all over the fucking table and it's running into your lap. Because racism is part arrogance, it's part sexism, and all those things will be in the other arenas. Let's see if we can find this. NY. I don't know how long this is gonna. There you go. It's right up here. Oh my god! I wonder if we're gonna. This NYPD cops push question rider from New York City subway. They don't have the authority to do that. Look at how aggressive they are. He's lucky he's not black. They'd have beaten him up and charged him with something. You're at a point where now where no one trusts you. And your whole point of fuck the cop, I'm gonna do whatever I want to you, will get what I said you're gonna get. Guys going fuck the cops and then laying in wait for you. And we've seen it several times already. I used to feel bad about saying it publicly. Now I feel like I told you it was coming and it's here. You can still fix this. I don't think it's too far gone. Who you got to fix it? You better fucking find somebody. Well, we got a black face around here somewhere. All right. See if that works for you. There's a lot of black people no one listens to. NYU student confronts cops, and he was a student, NYU student, confront cops not wearing masks. I want to hear, where's it? Let's go with the Daily News. I want to hear what the Daily News has to say about this. All right, you ready? Hopefully our stream will get rid of this. Hopefully our stream will continue because man, this connection looks a little dubious. Eric Adam wants to add 300 miles of bike lanes. That's not new. People have been asking for more bike lanes for forever. And the more gentrified the city becomes, the more bike lanes they get. Right? So what they want is they want the bike lanes to run down the West Side Highway. Like there's a lot of bike lanes there already. They want that to continue over the Brooklyn Bridge into downtown Brooklyn, where all the rich people live, right? And then, but they want it to run the length of Brooklyn into like Borough Park and down into the inner reaches of Brooklyn, down to oh, what's that place down there by the old NYPD aviation place? But yeah, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of unused space close to like trap that you can just put like a 20-foot bike lane and run it for like 500 miles. But they were like, no, fuck you. We're going to keep this money and do nothing with it. And they didn't do anything with it. And then they get elected to something higher up. So yeah, there should be fucking 300 miles of bike lanes. I mean, have you seen people? People are fat. And I normally don't mind fat people. But I'm telling you, this pandemic has me wiggy. And I tell the heavy people in my family, come on, man, coronavirus will wipe you. Come on. And people are just kind of like, I'm fine, I'm perfect. And I think they view it as, I should be minding my business. I should be talking about weight, having these stupid slips that I have about weight. But I also fuck with people about who smoke in my family about the same issues, weight and smoking, because this pandemic thing has really got me shook the f up, as the kids say. Uh, when was sunset?
Sunset was at 6:21 p.m. today.
When is sunset tomorrow?
Sunset tomorrow will be at 6:20 p.m.
That's it. All right. All right. I think once it gets to 6:15, we're gonna just stop looking, and then we're gonna have hope. And then, knock on wood, if I'm here next spring, we will look up, and it'll be getting brighter, and we'll say, "Oh my goodness, when is sunset?" And they will tell you sunset is at, I don't know, 7:10. Then it'll be 6:10. Then it'll be 5:10. Then before you know it, it'll be spring. A pair of unmasked NYPD cops shoved a strap hanger out of a Manhattan subway station on Tuesday after he repeatedly asked them why they weren't following state law that required people to cover their faces in mass transit. He was not wrong. He was absolutely right. What did you do? You use your police power to fuck with him. Your police, as a former cop, your police power only comes into play when you see something happening, someone tells you something is happening, and that's it. If I come up to you and go, "Hey man, you should be wearing a mask," that's not against the law. That's not for you. I'm a cop and you can't fuck. It's been going on so long. The arrogance of this group of people in the establishment, back to slavery and through Jim Crow and through the 60s bullshit, that they think that we're our own club and we can do whatever we want. I really think in order for you to fix it, you're gonna have to go through there with a hatchet, firing everybody. Let the ones who got away with it retire out. But these guys are fucking young. They should pay a price. So let's read the whole thing. Do we even see? Where's the vid? We want to see the video. Top video column. Why is there nothing but commercials on everything?
Congress to work for us. Industries.
Our responsibility.
It's nothing but steady commercials. Yeah, and it's not what we wanted. Maybe if we reset this, let's reset this, see what we get. Yeah, this is about Colin Powell. Not really interested in Colin Powell. All right. We want to. I want you to see this video. It had nothing to do with Colin Powell. Look at this. Why? So you just eject him. For what reason did you eject him? What law was broken that you violated his civil rights not to be fucked with by you? You know, these are the people you're gonna have to get rid of. Come on, people. There's a video. Why would you not have a video connected to this? I read something today. It was about a story about a lady looking in the New York harbor, looking at the skyline with her finger. So I open up. It's a story about an image, and there's no image in the story. It's like, what the fuck are you people doing? We're just paying ourselves a lot of money and fucking sleeping. We're fucking fully asleep. Oh my God. So where's the video? This country, you have to be stupid, I hate to say it, and asleep to let a lot of this shit keep going. September 17, 2020. That's 2 days ago. So this happened a couple of days ago. The NYPD commissioner responds, let's hear it. Stupid. The arrogance of these cops. Like, I can do whatever I want to you. And in a room full of cameras, and no one's going to ask a fucking thing. NYPD commissioner responds to a video of mass cop in Queens subway. So this was September 1st. This is not this incident. When he said the officers will be spoken to in an in-house manner. Yeah, I mean, no one trusts you. This is your problem. And like I always say, the cops, you are fucking outnumbered. You really are. And once people decide, yeah, fuck you and everything you stand for, then you have real problems. Then what's going to happen is you're going to be running to the, I guess, judicials to ask for more power to abuse people, which will then make the problem even worse. NYU student confronts cops not wearing masks in the subway. It's not really his deal to confront anybody not wearing masks, but you can walk up to the cops and ask them shit. He's got his mask on his. See, these guys look like they handled it right. He's got his hands out. He's engaging with Matt. Oh, man, I think you're an asshole, but fine. This other clip is what I want to show you. I'm looking at this. These guys look so fucking righteous as to be ridiculous. I wouldn't even have these guys on TV. They look like they did the right thing, right? But this, the one we're talking about is the recent one. MTA police enforce mask mandate in Penn Station. All right. So, mask compliance falls in New York City subway station. Yeah, all right. We may have to find the exact quote just to show you what I'm talking about. They can't throw you out of the subway because they don't like what you're doing. I got you, man. I'm big on some of the behavior. Like it's like they operate as a gang with unity, and they charge to go. No, 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 no. You work for the people of the city. You're not some outside entity unto yourself who can sit in judgment. How about this? Good Lord. Sometimes it's so hard to find stuff on the internet. We just had that. What happened to it? What is going on? What? All right. We good. I got to tell you, I think it's my apparatus today. Um, the 17th. This was a couple of days ago. Let's see what that says. Yeah, this is the one we looked up. These guys, they look like they were completely and totally and utterly righteous. This is another thing I never did. Sit down. You're in uniform. You're not supposed to be sitting down on the subway. Yeah. I mean, they should have had it, but at the same time, meh. But I want this other story. This other story is a story. Okay, I know I can find it. And this is, I mean, some of this, they arrest her over a mask. Look at her little kid there. They don't. I mean, you're supposed to use your judgment. A lot of these guys can be fired just because their judgment is bullshit. It really is about protecting these white guys who are cops. It really is. I mean, ugh. Got this little. I mean, so you arrest her with her 5-year-old there. You eject somebody who asked you. Yeah, I've said it before, and I said it. I say it again. I think people will look at cooperation with law enforcement, especially in New York, as a fuck you investment. And then, I mean, you need fucking faith in the cops. You do. I just saw this story. Where's it? NYPD. That's how you know they fucked up because here it is. They didn't arrest him Right. This is a guy who asked, and this is what he got. So let me get rid of me here. This is what I'm talking about. They didn't arrest him. There's video. So they threw him out of this. How do you explain yourself? We don't have to explain ourselves with the fucking cops. Oh, problem number one. Look at this. Oh man, this why oof, this whole thing is bad today. Excuse me. Oh, it's getting dark. Let's pop this open. That's lit. This is lit. Let's light some incense. Ah, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Everybody just calm down. We're all right. I think for a long time, the society has been happy to claim one thing. And can you even see me? No, I got to get over here, don't I? They have been happy to claim one thing and be completely, and it's, I mean, for a while there, it was nice for Europeans, right? You can come here, you could be a loser in Europe, and all of a sudden you can come here, and a large percentage of the population has to kowtow to you and yes, ma'am, you, and all this shit. Yeah, I think the reawakening of oh my god, oh that's not good. Good, I think that is good. All right. I have this Paramore song stuck in my head. I don't mind letting you down easy, just give it time. Where's the video? Where's the video? Where's the video? All right, so hold on. You know what? I'm sorta want to see if it's anywhere else. And go and walk up to cops and ask them shit. But the arrogance of how fucking dare you come up to me and ask me anything is really just the cap. Uh, let's see this. Yeah, and I think he had every right. I really do think he had every right to ask them that. Hmm. Okay, let's go back to the NY and the Daily News. You know, this is the one we're going to read. Even though it had no video, we're going to look at the video someplace else. NYPD cop refuses to wear mask, boots ride from New York City subway for raising issue. Shut up. For raising issue, right? A pair of unmasked NYPD cops shoved the strap hanger out of the Manhattan subway station on Tuesday, after he repeatedly asked them why they weren't following state laws that require people to cover their faces in mass transit facilities. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world? Oh, leave me alone. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. A pair of unmasked and we read for that. Andy Gilbert, 27, said he got off his downtown W train at 8th Street in East Village around 8:40 a.m. when he saw the cops standing on the platform without masks. Andy Gilbert, 27, said he got off his downtown W train at 18th Street in the East Village around 8:40 a.m. when he saw the cops standing on the platform without masks. Recently, I started doing short videos whenever I see that, and that's why the cops aren't wearing masks, said Gilbert, who lives in Queens. Now I've got the hiccups because of this. Said Gilbert, who lives in Queens. This morning, I did the same thing. I asked both of them if they realize it's illegal to not have a mask on them. Subway, I asked, why don't you just put on a mask? A state rule that took effect in September 2020 requires everyone to cover their faces on the subway or face a fine of $50. Excuse me. Or face a fine of $50. $50 fine. What's 19? It's a pandemic. This fine should be like, it shouldn't break people. Don't get me wrong. It shouldn't be like a $5,000 fine if you don't have a mask on the subway, but it should be more than $50. It should be a pinch. It should be right, because you won't do it more than once. I'm sorry. I've got a hiccup situation here. All right. The male officer kept saying he couldn't hear me through my mask, said Gilbert. See, that's that bullshit. Eventually, the back and forth went on for 2 or 3 minutes. The male officer declared that I am being disruptive. At Joseph Vincent and Grace Rosario Tapia. Better watch these minorities who don't mind doing evil shit with bad people to show that they're important. Shoved the querying struggling out of the subway emergency gate. I would have went back in. It's all on video. There's no way he's gonna arrest me. There's no way. Sometimes you may have to do the week or the weekend, right, in jail to get this giant payout that's going to be coming your way. At this point, the officer who identified Gilbert as Joseph Vincent and Grace Rosario Tapia shoved the query strapping out of the subway. Just video posted on Twitter shows and also pushing Gilbert toward the gate. He also pushed the gate open as the male pushed Gilbert out of the platform. If the video doesn't show the conversation that led up to that incident. This is a so let's show it to you. Let me get me out of here. I mean, you don't have any authority to do this. You really don't. You don't have any authority. If he fucked up, arrest him. If he fucked up, arrest him. The arrogance that he would do this on camera, bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, this is he. You know what? Now, if he paid his subway and went back in, oh man, what would you do? Let's hear what some of the oh good Lord, this. Thank you for posting this video. This is truly outrageous. To protect and serve, NYPD fails yet again. I'm so disgusted and fed up with the cops. Look at this. So disgusted and fed up with the cops' blatant disregard and disrespect for people. NYPD is a great employer of bullies. They keep attacking me. Total 6 assaults, broken body parts, correlated to MRI. This just ongoing since 2010. Here's my transparency. OVS, CCRB, IAB, not nice. Since 20 days, CCRB and IAB don't do anything. Like when it showed up on TV, oh man, you beat the fuck out of that guy and there's camera footage. Then it goes to CCRB. And like I said, then you go on with your life and they stop reporting on it and nothing happens to the cop. And the guy who they beat up still has injuries and still has to go to court as whatever they should fix it because it's going to get worse. And like I said, you are not hard to follow home from your job, stupid. I mean, it's very simple. Don't be involved in the crime. If that dude is working badly, don't fuck with him. Don't work with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I worked alone a lot because I would not work with people who I knew were assholes, knew were bullies. And I was like, I'm not going to lie for you, and I'm not going to condone this. Sometimes I'm a little too black for my own good. WNBC assignment desk. Victoria, thank you for posting. Did you shoot this video? If not, do you know who did and how we can reach them? If you that yet see NYCB News, NBC News, that's the story. Explain yourself. I shot it myself. Feel free to use it. That is not what you want to say to the media. You should have said, I shot it myself, call me, because this media is now worth money. If I put a picture of my kid dancing and he gets 10 million hits, there's money for you in that. Versus giving the money to the giant corporation. That's one thing I learned. And I don't know much about much, but I know that if you shoot something, you got a picture of the first UFO. Yeah, just use it. No, you might be able to pay for your kid to go to college, or at least 5 or 10 grand here or there. Ask for money next time. See someone ask. Not my style. And by the way, that's everything wrong with this. Yeah, this guy's an idiot. You're giving them MSN content they should compensate you since they are going to be monetizing your video. Exactly. Look, I used to be this guy, but I'm not this guy anymore. Anyway, the media is sketchy as fuck too. And here's the thing I want you to notice. Look at the amount. Let's put this on mute. Look, the amount of people who are asleep. Who are asleep. Can't even. Like her, what is she doing? She's on her phone. She's completely clueless. This could have been a fight between two bad guys with guns. She should at least look up. Oh my God. And look at these people. They don't even turn around. He doesn't turn around. He's looking at it right. I mean, this is a problem. I want to go live in a dangerous place like New York, but I want somebody to protect me. Better fucking keep your eyes open. And look at these people walking in. They don't see shit. All right. So yeah, let's just get rid of this. But I want to know what if an NYPD spokesperson said the incident is internal. How many internal reviews do you fucking have? And when do you go, all right, this is the last of the cop shit that we reviewed for the last 6 months. All right. Oh, hold on, let me put me up here. I'm not. So you can go, all right, this box is a whole review of all the shit we looked into in 6 months. We found that this cop acted right. Okay, this video started before the whole, after the whole edit, so we don't really know what set it up. But we realized all the cop acted inappropriately, and mind you, proper correction should be noted, right? So if it's a bullshit thing, go, dude. We had to talk to him. You didn't take me though. He doesn't need to. We had to talk to him, dude. Don't call that lady stupid. She did what you said. Come on, be nice to the people. Get out of here. The next time, dude, why you did that? You put your hands on somebody in a situation that you didn't need to put your hands on them. You are lucky we're not charging you with assault. 3 weeks or a month payless. Get out of here. You're suspended. To the guy, like, you're just an asshole and an idiot. You didn't break the law, but you should not be a cop. You're fired, right? To the other guy, not only are you fired, we're charging you with shit. There's a ladder. There's a fucking ladder. But leave to these guys. They don't get these jobs. They make a ton of cake, and all of a sudden, they're a gang against you. I dare you to do something. I think the NYPD is entering dangerous territory. Yeah, you want to go, fuck you, I can do whatever I want to you? I think you're going to get a lot more violence directed at you. And not in that bravado style of punching you up and beat, but like people doing evil shit with a gun, like the Klan did, with a rifle, scope or not, in a city full of 1 billion windows, where no one will tell you who did what. I mean, the way I view it, people can run amok through the New York City Police Department. And no one will say anything. That is not a day you want to come to pass. We've had 13 cops shot this month. Last month we had 12. The month before that we had 10. We've got no suspects, and we asked people in the community, and they won't talk to us. Oh wow, how did we get here? How the fuck did we get here? The fuck out of here! You better fix this, because people are tired of you. You are not you are not, what's the word I'm looking for? Infallible, and you haven't been held accountable. It's fucking ridiculous. An NYPD spokesman said the essay is under review. He regularly sees cops flying the mask requirement in the subway and has not seen officers crack down on riders who fail to wear masks. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority officials have over the last 15 months pushed for mask usage, so more New Yorkers feel comfortable riding the subways. Here's the thing: all these transit officials, they never take the subway. I mean, I'm sure a secretary who works for the MTA or a custodian who works for the they take the subway, but all these money board members, I once had to work out there on Brooklyn Bridge Avenue, right off the bridge, coming toward Atlantic Avenue. They had a meeting. There were double parked Lincoln Town cars, like on the cross street, and it was for the subway. It was for the MTA. Their board, and I was like, you should have to take the subway. The mayor Bloomberg, famously took the subway. Right. Oh, look, I'm an everyday guy like you. I'll take the subway. The only reason he did that and then had to do it every day for like the remainder of his, because people like billionaires don't have anything in common with you. The only he could muster was, oh, look, I take the subway with you with my 30 guard armed detail where no one can go, you fucking suck, Bloomberg. Right. Without being fucking the cameras going off and someone being dragged off the subway. Here we go. I just see time and time again when you could fix the problem, they double down on fuck the populace. We do what we want. This is our gang. And I really do think the only way you're going to stop it is someone's going to have to go in there, fire a bunch of people for incompetence, and arrest a bunch of people for malfeasance. That's it. The MTA regular holds mass force. Regular holds mass force. What is mass force? Events in which volunteers and agency leaders hand out masks to riders. Mask force. So you show up, you got mask riders, but they don't have to wear the mask that you give them. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. Which volunteers and agency leaders hand out agency leaders. Okay, what does agency leader even mean? You think the MTA chairman is handing out masks on the subway? You're fucking drunk. Hand out masks to riders in trains and stations and ask those who are unmasked to cover their faces. And if you ask me to cover my face, and I go, am I ejected from the subway? Am I carted off by the cops? What happens if I don't want to mask up? The MTV last month announced a crackdown on riders who declined to wear their mask in train. Police force issued 41 summonses for violations over the first year the policy was in effect. 41 over the first year? That's less than one a week. The MTA declined to wear masks. The agency's internal police force. The MTA doesn't have an internal police force. It used to have an internal police force called the Transit Cops, and the Metro North have the Metro North Police, right? But in New York City proper, it's all NYPD. It's unclear whether the NYPD has enforced a mask requirement at all. NYPD representatives said the department does not track data to that level of specificity. The Mana NYPD never had the fucking answer for anything. I police through parked in bike lanes. I've never had any cop physically assault me, Gilbert said. Cops don't care about the law, said Gilbert. They just do whatever they want, and there's no accountability. See, now you got white lawyers saying it. This is it. What happens to this thing? This is where you're at. People watched it for 100 years. Not even 100 years. People did. I would say a lot of people didn't give a fuck or didn't know about it for 100 years while people were violent and aggressive and ridiculous in all aspects of let's just call it white bulliedom, right? from cowboys to fucking ranchers to random people to fucking farmers to fucking priests, right? This clan behavior. Now no one's officially a part of the clan, but they're all still in these environments, right? They don't try and be your butcher. They try and be your cop or your DA. And then when you have a question, they don't want to be questions about you. This story is outrageous to me. And there's video. And this is cut and dry. He should have paid for another ticket and went right back in past that cop and dared you to arrest him. Because then that's wrongful arrest on multiple reasons. And there's a video. And it looks like you did it spite. The amount of cops they need to fire in the NYPD is not small. It really is not. But having said this diatribe for the last 20 minutes or so, don't get it wrong, man. There's a lot of dudes who are busting ass to do their believers. There's just as many who are just fucking asleep and won't do anything. Not a fucking thing. Right? And I'm talking about the ones who go out of their way to be aggressive and violent. Those are the ones I'm always talking about. I'm not talking about the lazy ones who should have did something and didn't. And I'm not talking about the dreamers who did it and got it wrong. I'm talking about these Klansmen, racist asshats in the NYPD. You guys should fix it. Because I'm telling you, a million windows. A million windows. You kill, shot kids? What is going on with this? A lot of these shot kids. Yeah, I think the cops will have to fucking be looking for me. If you killed my kid, it's outrageous. Why should you? It should just be treated as a bad day at work for him, and no suspension, and we'll look into it and never get back to you. And you have a hole in your family caused by either bullying, incompetence, or sheer racism. Shit, you would have to look for me. I would go through. You know, and you don't want people even thinking like this. It's not conductive to what you want. But I'm sure somebody sitting here listening going, oh yeah, then you go down the gauntlet? How many cops somebody can kill in a? Are you really doing that? Moron. Start with you. And that's not the way it's going to be. It's going to be, we don't know who did it. The guy's hiding in the bushes or the random or on a pass or some shit. Shot this guy on the highway. Shot that guy in his backyard. Shot this guy here. Shot that guy there. We're looking for any information. After 6 months, we got no information. We know exactly why. Maybe we can talk to the preachers and nobody goes to church anymore. Oh, we can't talk to them. Where are the civil rights leaders who we can bring in? Yeah, no one's fucking listening to me either. Now what you got? You got full-blown war. It's not what you want. I mean, the Ahmaud Arbery trial started today because this arrogant cop shit. And I'm not even talking about the shooting of him by these two people and this retired cop. I'm talking about the cops rolled up. He was still alive. They just let him bleed out and die on the street. In my mind, a lot more people should have went to jail for that. And today, there was a judgment with Elijah McClain's family. Bullshit money. 2 years after Elijah McClain's death, family announced a settlement deal. You took the money for the cop. Look, this settlement deal should have been after this cop was convicted. And now it's like, look, we'll just give you money. And then in court, they're like, hey, we gave the family money. What? This is over already. What if I want your money? What if I want justice? Something America knows absolutely dick about. Jail? The idea about it, they took these pictures, these cops, while he was dying. Taking half while he's dying in the ambulance. And then after this picture was taken, another cop walks over with his body cam on there. He coded. They're like, what? Well, he coded? And then they laughed about that he died. Oh, they fired him. Let's look at it. Let's get this. Aurora police chief fires 3 over Elijah McClain's chokehold picks. Yes. Yeah, fuck you. You're fired. I mean, it's one thing to go, oh man, I fucked this up, but now you're giddy at the scene of a murder. Fuck out of here. You know, and I will double down on what I said 5 minutes ago. These people are lucky no one comes after them. Since you murdered somebody with the impunity, these people are really lucky. Like, what was the old joke? What's the old joke? It's the NAACP having a military wing. I forgot the joke. What's the joke? But this guy was like, he would go to the homeless shelter and play his violin. Here's a picture of him playing the violin. Play his violin for for like shelter animals because he would calm them down. This is a guy he was, right? It used to be when I was growing up, well, he's got a criminal record. Let's look at, but you want to look at his history, but you don't want to look at the history of the cop, right? And then people are like, this has nothing to do with his history of him. This is him not doing anything, and you said instant, not what he did when he was in high school, right? And so now they stop you from bringing up the history of whoever you killed, but they don't want you to pull the jacket of these cops. People on cameras. This whole thing's ridiculous, man. I'm getting fucking wonky with this, with the feed. It's just wrong, and I don't realize why it has to be a fucking debate. Why we have debate about rape if we're going to be stupid? Well, hey, she was outside her house. What's your position? What? This is not debatable. This shit is not debatable. It's fucking. Do we want to look at this? I'm sorry for getting excised about this, but it don't make no sense. It hasn't made sense for 100 years plus. McClain died days after he was detained by the police in Aurora in 2019. The terms of the sentence were not made public. Better make those terms public. Elijah McClain, a 23-year-old black man who died in 2019 after and mind you, they covered up this for like 6 months. This came back around because of not Freddie Gray, which, good lord, after police a black man who died in 2019 after the police in Aurora, Colorado restrained him with a chokehold maneuver, which has since been banned. No, but they also injected fucking ketamine into his neck. Has reached a 7 week, and officials and lawyers for his parents said on Tuesday they can't wait to run out and go, hey, look. We reached a settlement, so everything's fine. We're not going to change anything. How you fucking run up and inject somebody with some wild concoction? Ryan Luby, a spokesperson for the city of Aurora, confirmed in a statement that the settlement had been reached in principle. In principle, what does that mean? It's not in principle done, but they couldn't wait to tell the press that this was over. In principle, over the summer to resolve a civil rights lawsuit that McClain's family filed in 2020 after Mr. McClain's tragic death. If it's tragic, why was no one arrested at the scene? You know, I'm tired of the fucking talk, the talking that's from the same group of evil people who will then run for Congress or Senate or governor. Outrageous. After Mr. McClain's tragic death, Mr. Luby said the city leader would sign it after family. So the city leader hadn't even signed it yet. Aren't you a cart before the horsing this bitch? Mr. Luby said the city leader would money would be allocated. He said the parties could not disclose it. Wait, what? I just trying to get this in my head. Saying that we have a settlement, but we can't cut checks until the family figures out who gets what check. How? What? I'm the mom. I should get $10. No. I'm the father. I should get, but I'm the sister, and I should get what? That's not how that works out. Oh God. And you know, we're such a poor group that squabbling over money is really how you get one person to sign. About the society is people dancing and twerking for money. Making it rain is a thing about poverty. Look, I'm not poor anymore. Watch me make it rain in the clubs. People walk around with like $20,000 in actual cash to show you they're important. I'm tired of all of it. He said the parties could not disclose the amount of the settlement until those issues are resolved and the agreement is in its final form. If it's not in its final form, you have not settled shit. Why is this in the New York Times? What is going on with my... Three officers and two paramedics are... Yeah. The person who fucking injected that shit should be arrested too. It really is outrageous. It really is outrageous. These extrajudicial killings get more and more ridiculous. The family of Dodge McCain, a 20-year-old black man who died in 2019 after the police in Aurora, Colorado restrained him with a chokehold maneuver that has since been banned. That wasn't what killed him. What killed him was ketamine. Has reached settlement with the city and official order. All right. It's all subtle, but we don't have anything. The settlement was discussed earlier this month in the U.S. District Court for the District of Colorado. A court filing says that Magistrate Judge Henry Neureuter held a hearing on just of how the lawsuit will be resolved. You know, people who hate you should not be in charge. You know, at this point, I want a black court and a black police department to police me. I don't trust these people to do it anymore. Now what? What happens then? You got 60 million people all going, yeah, we want somebody else other than you. We don't trust your cops or your judges. And you go, well, fuck you. This is all we're going to give you. And then they go, well, fuck you. We're not listening anymore. And then what happens? I always tell you, I'm like 6 months, and there is no civil rights leadership in this. So yeah, we can kill you and then bury, and if it won't stay buried, then we'll just fucking put it in the newspaper or whatever with our friends who always put what we say in the newspaper, and turn the public view of what happened. But you can't do that much anymore when everything's on video. Ms. Louis said the city leader was signed after the family members agreed on how the settlement money will be allocated. That's none of your business. Just cut them a check. Let them fight over the fucking money, like Prince's family did. He said the party would not disclose the amount of the settlement until those issues are resolved and the agreement is in its final form. The settlement was earlier this month in U.S. Court with like Judge Neureuter on October 8th to discuss the logistics of how the lawsuit will be resolved. How you talking about the lawsuit, but you're not fucking on the criminal case? Parents Sheenan McClain and LaWayne Mosley filed the lawsuit on August 11, 2020, seeking damage for the family. 12 police officers, 2 fire department paramedics, and department medical director were named as defendants. 12 cops rolled up, and you couldn't take someone into custody or restrain somebody who weighs 105 pounds. Even if you brought him to the floor, I put handcuffs on people fully standing up, right? This just seems like we got a chance to be fucking dark to somebody. He, like we do all the time. Ha, 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 look at us. That's what it looks like to me. The city of Aurora, 12 police officers, 2 fire department paramedics, and the department's medical were named as defendants. Because what did the medical director say? They always want to tell you it was PCP. And people tell you, went to church every PCP. You know how many people are dead in the 60s, 70s, and 80s under the the bullshit account of PCP and how many cops are retired now who should be in jail, cops who are pulling a pension who should be in prison. People are like, yeah, no. I think America is going to be a very interesting place in 20 years. I think there's going to be widespread violence, targeted violence. The settlement brought some relief to Mr. McClain's relatives. The lawyers for the family said, I think it brought relief to the lawyers for the family. They're going to get a third of it. Mr. Mosley said in a statement, nothing will bring back his son, Elijah, who he loved dearly, but he is hopefully that the settlement with Aurora and the criminal charges against officers of medical care will allow his family to come. No, what you want is it doesn't happen. And this sounds like it's going to happen to somebody else, just not your family. Mr. McClain, the mother and the father both have separate lawyers because they weren't. Oh God, the black environment is such a shit show. I can't make a lot of excuses for a lot of it anymore. Yeah, all these broken families, and fathers for all of this shit. Everybody's getting pregnant at 16 by randoms. Top Earn, who's representing Ms. McClain, said in the telephone on Tuesday that Elijah's mother feels that at least some justice has been done. It used to be spiritual people who speak for United lawyers because no one goes to fucking church after the settlement, but there was not. Elijah's mother feels that it was at least some justice has been done after the settlement, but that was not as important to her as criminal case, of course, right? Because this would sound like money's more important to her. Elijah McClain is not with us and her family. But come on, you've got to. You know what happened on August 24, 2019? Mr. McClain was walking home from a convenience store a little over 3 years ago, and then they buried the story for 8 months. Walking home from a convenience store when someone called 911 saying he looked sketchy. He lived in the neighborhood. How many times have you been in that convenience store? Cops on him. Someone should bring them out in public. All these people call the cops and end up with somebody being murdered. Their hands. He says he looks sketchy. What does looking sketchy mean? Police arrived, also grabbed Mr. McClain's arm, pushed him against the wall. Again, he was a small, frail dude. You saw his picture. Push him against one. There were 12 cops and 3 MTs there. So police arrived, also grabbed Mr. McClain's arms, pushed him against a wall and pulled him to the ground. First of all, if you're pushed up against the wall, you can handcuff him up against the wall. Yeah. So then you just put him on the ground, you stand on him. You put your knee on his neck when none of this shit is necessary. These people should go to jail for so much time. They really should. Something tells me white jury is what these people are going to give them. Say he looked sketchy and that he was wearing a ski mask and waving his arms. That's because you say that doesn't mean that was going on. Waving. He's just wearing the ski mask, doing this, waving arm, no gun, no knife, no anything. He's just waving his arms, walking around with his bag of treats and shit that he went to get. Apparently, this walk to his house to the convenience store from his house was like within the block. It was like a block. It wasn't. He didn't have to take a car there. He didn't have the 10-minute walk there. He could have walked there in his slippers, trotted out there between TV commercials, and ran back. After the police, this is Floyd. These people who own these stores called the cops on everybody. They should bear some responsibility. After the police arrived, officer grabbed Mr. McClain's arm and pushed him against the wall and pushed him to the ground. They subdued him with a cardiac hold, which restricts blood to the brain. Mr. McClain told officers that he was simply walking home and asked them to let him go, according to an independent review. This is all on their body cams. I'm an introvert and I'm different, Mr. McClain told the police. Look, man, I have seen this video. This is one of the most heartbreaking videos ever. It's almost like someone's pleading for their life. It's this one, and there's one where this asshat shoots this guy. And it takes like 5 minutes for him to shoot him. Get on the ground! Shut up! And the guy's crying. He's fucking sobbing. And then he shoots him. Full uniform. We used to call him buffed out. Can't wait to get a gun. Who can't be a cop? I'm gonna teach them. And he killed this guy. The guy who he shot was white. I wish I could remember this guy's name. I'm an introvert and I'm different, Mr. McClain told police, according to audio recording from the stop. I'm just different. That's all. That's all I was doing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. When emergency medical arrived, they injected him with ketamine, a powerful sedative. Again, the dude weighs about 105 pounds. And again, there are 12 cops on the scene. Yeah, everyone involved with this needs to do 10 years in jail. And that's me being fair. A lot of people want life in prison, but it's incompetence and a fair amount of bullying and arrogance. Ketamine. Mr. McClain unconscious was taken to a hospital and never recovered. He was removed from life support and died on August 30th, 11 days later. The Adams County coroner said the cause of death was undetermined. What? This is your problem. The cops are corrupt, the judges are corrupt, and the coroner is happy to be corrupt. Send them all to prison. The coroner said, yeah, all black people die by PCP. I don't even have to look into it. The cops are always right. It's so sketchy. The Adams County coroner said the cause of death was undetermined, which is bullshit, and that it could have been a result of natural causes. The dude was like 20. What's the natural cause for a 20-year-old to die who had no pre-existing condition? A homicide causes a homicide related to the Carteret hold or an incident. The Adams County coroner said the cause of death was undetermined and that it could have been a result of natural causes, homicide related to the Carteret hold or an accident. When did the accident take place? He was in police custody. But you're not going to say, this is a natural cause that you can't determine, right? It's either natural cause that you, the coroner, can't determine, homicide related, which you as a coroner should be able to determine, or some random accident like a brain aneurysm, which again, you should be able to determine. You're the coroner. You cut people open and go, oh, well, he had a clogged artery from plaque, or oh, we looked into his brain and a blood vessel burst. Two of the things you're making excuses for, you should be able to determine. In a span of 18 minutes, defendant subjected 18 minutes. In the span of 18 minutes, defendants subjected Elijah to a procession of needless and brutal. Yeah, they just stopped him on the street and tortured him. And then they injected him and he died. I mean, this is your lynching. In the span of 18 minutes, defendants subjected Elijah to a process of needless and brutal force techniques, that's the head, and unnecessary records administered medication. The combined efforts of which he could not survive. That seems like a way to stop this. Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you. The Elijah case is just fucking ridiculous. And every time it's more ridiculous, it gets more ridiculous, it gets more ridiculous, it gets more and more ridiculous. Yeah, I thought Tamir Rice was and then you can shotgun somebody in broad daylight who's jogging down the street and stay out of jail for 2 months because you know people. You know what? And the media should be fucking at the house of these cops and these MTs, sticking the camera in their face. Even the media is full of shit, has all this respect for these people. But this is the bullshit game they're playing. Yeah, I'll triple down on what I said. I think it's going to come down to fucking, you're going to wake up one day and there's going to be more and more cop shootings. And they won't. That's the sad thing. How do you settle the fucking lawsuit before the criminal trial? And here's the thing: the people whose family this was doesn't give a fuck about the next person's kid. They really don't. Take the money and go. Move to Hawaii, buy a house. And I think they go, well, we'll just charge him. And what'll happen is we'll get an all white jury, and then they'll let him go. And they will say, hey, black community and people who look at justice throughout the world, we Americans are about justice. Look, we tried what? They didn't charge the woman. Why didn't they charge the woman police officer? Yeah. All right. Let's just run through the meat and potatoes of it. The police officers and paramedic who stopped 23-year-old Elijah McClain and administered a fatal dose of ketamine to the unarmed black man are being charged with homicide more than 2 years after his death. A grand jury indicted 3 Aurora, Colorado police officers and 2 paramedics on a total of 32 counts. Wow, that's a lot. A total of 32 counts. That doesn't mean everybody got 32 counts. Some probably, okay, well, Wednesday afternoon in a rare move to hold them accountable for acts while on duty. Every defendant is facing 1 count of criminal negligent homicide and a count of manslaughter. Attorney General Phil Weasler, while assault charges vary among those involved in the McClain death. I'll go to seek justice for Elijah McClain, for his family, his friends, and for our state, Weiser said Wednesday. August 24, 2019, McClain was walking home. We rented that. The cop accused him of resisting. They just accuse you of resisting. They accuse you of disorderly conduct, right? You're just accused of shit so they can do something to you. The cops then accused him of resisting, tackled him to the ground, and began to handcuff him. At one point, he's 105 pounds. What handcuff is he fighting? And again, there are 12 of you. At one point, they even placed him in a chokehold, a maneuver now banned by most police departments after 2014 death of Eric Garner in New York. During the arrest. I was just going home. McClain can be hurt saying on body. Man, that body cam footage is fucking brutal. Paramedics were called to the scene by police. Nobody's a doctor. Paramedics were called to the scene. McClain's arrested by police after they determined he was suffering from excited delirium. Who said he was suffering from excited delirium? A controversial state of agitation often diagnosed by cops, which later appeared on the black man's death certificate. Excited delirium sounds like some legal bullshittery that means nothing. They used to kill you with the term furtive movement, which is lawyerdom for he made a furtive movement, right? So this is a furtive movement. Where am I? The imagery looks bad. This is a furtive movement, all right? So if you're standing there with a gun and I do this is the furtive movement. He reached into his jacket. He could have pulled out a pen, right? Look at this imagery. He could have pulled out a pen, which is what this is, or he could have pulled out a gun. They use that for everything. For everything. Furtive movement. You could scratch your hat. Furtive movement. You could be, man, this is bullshit. Crush your arm. Furtive movement. So I shot him. Oh, let's look up in his history. He probably could have been high on PCP. When I was a kid, by 8, 9, 10, everybody was on PCP that the cop shot. Not new. Man, we've been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes. Even with this bad video, we're gonna finish this story in it just because I do not like green eggs and ham and podcasts with bad imagery. All right. Excited delirium, a controversial state of agitation, often diagnosed by cops, which is often used as an anesthetic treatment. For who? But McClain went into cardiac arrest at the Trump to the hospital, and he was later declared brain dead. On top of the homicide charges, two of the police officers who arrested McClain, Rodema and Rosenblatt, also face an additional charge of second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily injury, and one count each of crime of violence. Say about this, and both the paramedics who are both arrived later on scene, Cooper and Sichuniak, each face second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily injury, second-degree assault for recklessness causing bodily injury by means of deadly weapon, ketamine, second-degree assault for purpose other than lawful, and one kind of crime of violence. That seems fair. Who are you to show up and shove shit in somebody's neck? You're supposed to be a medical professional. Didn't know his height, his weight, didn't know his drug history, but you injected him with fucking ketamine. White was assigned to investigate McClain's death last year, but COVID-19 restrictions continued to delay the meeting of the grand jury. Oh, really? You can't have everything else is going on, but you can't have a grand jury during COVID. Weiser said Wednesday during that time, questions into how Aurora also had black men continue, and an independent investigation in February determined the cops had no reason to place him in a chokehold in the first place. Yeah. Throw that guy out of the subway. No reason. And here's the thing, everybody in New York City Police Department, and I know this, everyone serves at the pleasure of the police commissioner. You can be fired. Yeah. You can be fired and you won't get your gig back. And that's what pisses me off. The police commissioner does not fire any of these bad cops. This is not New York, but I'm saying, you know, stop acting like there are no remedies. The grand jury made their decision last office delayed an announcement to the public to inform the McClain's family first. We're here today because Elijah McClain is not here, and he should be, he said. He was 23 years old. He was a son, a nephew, a brother, and a friend. And when he died, he was only 23 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. His family, his friends must now go on and live without him. Last month, Weiser announced his department looking into whether the Aurora Fire Department had a pattern of violating the civil rights of community members. The Aurora Police Department have been involved in several violent arrests that have received national attention. They're a gang. You know, you hit a tipping point with your racist bullshit, and then you just become a gang. In July, an officer was charged. This is a separate case. In July, an officer was charged, including assault, official misconduct, pistol whipping, and choking an unarmed man. In August 2020, he deserves to be in jail. In August 2020, Aurora also forced girls and their older relatives out of a vehicle at gunpoint and handcuffs them after mistaking their van for a stolen vehicle. Just incompetence. Oh boy. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. We're ending this thing. The amount of corruption. Ugh. All right, well. What are you gonna do when the world... White House doubles down on executive action as Democrats consider scaling back Hill climate plan. Ugh. Every time I see Joe Biden, it looks like he's wearing the clothes they're going to bury him in. Why even fully vaccinated older people are at high risk for COVID? Yeah, it's a pandemic. It's supposed to be the worst of diseases, right? Right? Is that the way that works? It's not the flu, something worse. So, and we don't talk about the virus on this pod, but if you listen to the history of other viruses, they've been around anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So we'll see what happens with this fantasticness. Guilty congressman indicted for lying to the FBI. Yeah, you can't lie to the FBI. I don't know why. You should be able to lie to anybody you fucking want. You're an American citizen. So, I mean, cops lie in court all the time, and nobody charges anybody with perjury. Braves 5 Dodgers to 6 inning Braves up 2 games to zip. That game on now? I leave and go and look. What? Where is that game? Because I can't. Braves game. Because nothing's on. Fox used to have the best. The best. Braves game. God dang it. On, but maybe I need to clean the mouse. That could be it. Back in the days, to clean your mouse. And I'm a fan of trackballs, but get dirty fast. But now the new mouses, you can't open to clean. They're a little. Is it going to be on CBS? Dodgers versus Brave, NLCS Game 3 live streaming, TV channels, time, odds, pitching matchup. It should be on How to Watch. TBS. I don't have TBS. Huh. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. All right. Look at this. Look at this imagery. We can't look, and it's yeah. It's not awesome. Hold on. Yeah. There you go. Oh, that worked a little better. Not much, but a little better. All right. Please like and subscribe, people. We need you to pass the word that some of us are out here paying attention to what's going on as we try and play ourselves. Is that off? As we try to play ourselves shitty guitar work. All right, give me a second. I see, my man. William, you got me wondering about this game. Give me a second. I'll be back. I want to check the TV in the other room. Yep. All right. This is one of those things that I hate. All right, so apparently it's not going to be on here in a way that I can watch it, which is sad. Well, you know it's cold because I'm wearing my flannel. Yeah, I don't have a lot of this stuff. I cut back my what is it? My antenna for all the stuff that I was being bombarded with a while ago. So I don't have HBO. I never saw Game of Thrones. I never saw a lot of these other things that everybody likes. Some stuff is on broadcast TV. I just never watch it. Uh, let's close this. People looking in here. I don't mind you looking. Like this is a Today Show. So okay, so we're like 5 minutes away, 5 minutes or so away from the end of this thing, and it's sad. I mean, I could have gone a little longer since the games. I won't be able to watch any of the games. But let's cover this. GOP congressman indicted for lying to the FBI. Rep. Jeffrey Fortenberry, Republican, Nebraska. Wow, he's not a state representative. He's a represent, right? Has been indicted on charges he falsified records and lied to federal investigating probing an illegal foreign donation scheme. Got in bed with foreigners to get into American government. That's the kind of shit that I keep saying should not be allowed. At least they arrested. He's a congressman, but usually, it's higher up the ladder. Could ghosts be hurting house sales? See, this is why we are not a serious nation. Could ghosts be hurting house sales? You can't sell your house because of the ghost. What? That's like there was a show where they were every week they were trying to find ghosts, and I was just kind of like, how stupid are you to watch this shit? Every week is, oh, I heard something. Bob, ooh, something touched my leg. Every week. Oh, something touched my back. Every week. No ghosts. See, but she kept it to herself. I wonder what did she say? Okay. We went through some of that yesterday. Occurred on Matt Laure. I want to watch this fucking game. I don't have TBS. Katie Couric says she has no relationship with Matt Lauer. Call scandal devastating. She had to go back to because she's selling the book. She's full of shit too, in my opinion. She's completely and wholly full of shit. I mean, you don't mind keeping it quiet. I mean, people knew what was going on in the work environment. So why would she not? And now all of a sudden she's shocked. Katie Couric and Matt Lauer spent 9 years together as co-hosts on Today. Lauer's firing in 2017 for inappropriate sexual conduct led to the end of their relationship. Really? We have no relation with Couric. Speaking about Lauer, told Savannah Guthrie in a wide-ranging interview about Couric's upcoming memoir going there. But Savannah Guthrie worked with him too. Do you have a relationship? Now all of a sudden, everybody's shocked and can't believe the things that happened at work. Oh, I thought you were a fucking reporter. I thought you had a curious mind. I thought you followed the story. All of that shit should have been activated by your work environment, and it wasn't. Or you, man. Look, listen. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And sex is currency, right? Even for men, but men have a smaller ability to do this, right? But for women, and if you don't have a problem with it, you can maybe it's not a moral issue for you. Hopping into your bed with your boss or this guy or that guy, right? People date at work, but they don't date the custodian. They date the guy who's got a private office. That not just Matt Lauer, that she also doesn't know of, let's say, what do you call this? Do we like not only of Matt Lauer, but oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Okay, there you go. Oh, the idea that you didn't know the women at work who sleep with the boss or and all this other shifty stuff is bullshit. And like I said here all the time, it's not just the cops. The media sends innocent people to jail too with the stories they write. Right? We went over this with the Central Park Five and how the media covered them. And now, 20 years later, they're going, "Oh my God, innocent children! I cannot believe it. I am a mom. We are all family, and oh heavens to Betsy, and I go to church every Sunday. Who could? How does this keep happening? Because you are playing both sides against the middle, and yeah, I'm only about 6 months away from talking about oh, what should happen to fucking these lying reporters who send people to jail for 30 years. I just wrote what the cops told me. Well, there's a problem. You should have covered the story. Matt Lauer has spent 9 years together as co-anchors on Today's Show, but Lauer's firing in 2017 for inappropriate sexual conduct led to the end of their relationship. Kirk told Today on the Today Show, where she's worked on Tuesday. We have no link. A wide-ranging interview about Kirk's upcoming memoir, Going There. Kirk said she did her own reporting after hearing of the allegations of sexual harassment and abuse of power against a former colleague and discovered that really, you never really knew it, huh? Considering a lot of it happened at work, huh? I never really knew it, huh? It's amazing. It's like, well, fucking bosses who become head of departments, and then you go, "Hey, did you know about this violence?" "Oh, well, it didn't happen around me. I don't know nothing about it." Yeah, okay. She did her own reporting. And I got more information and learned what was going on behind the scenes. It was really upsetting and disturbing, she said. It was really devastating, but also disgusting. It was devastating and disgusting. Did you have the rip on Katie Couric is, and I don't know any of these people, but the rip on Katie Couric is she's a shitty person. So I wouldn't be surprised if she knew and didn't care or thought that this was the way business goes, or if she engaged in some of this behavior herself to get to these high ranks, right? Where you make $6 million a year to sit at a desk and tell people stuff. Because people look, TV is a weird thing. TV makes you by the person on the opposite side of the TV. Happens all of us, right? Because you see people looking at the camera and talking to you. You are the best. You're the one. You're the best. And you go, yeah, all right. I like this guy. He's got jokes and he's funny and he says I'm the best. Yeah, all right. Katie Couric is the best person. And then before you know it, you're like Katie Couric. And then she goes, listen to me. I hate to be the one to tell you, I'm your friend Katie Couric, but you need to all sign up for the next great war. And people are like, well, Katie Couric said it. And then someone will look at the numbers and go, wow, we got a bump of 10%, 5%. Just because she said it, we ran it on someone else's show and they've got a bump of 2%. Right. And then before you know it, you're like, wow, I kind of did this thing because I believe this thing. But when you actually start thinking, why do I believe this? What happened? When it happened, you realize I have an opinion about this because someone put this opinion in my head. Hate cops or love cops or, any of that. We're just talking about things of the day. But if I was in here going, you should do this and you should do that, I mean, some of you would leave, man, don't tell me what I need to do. But some of you would naturally agree. And some of you can be steered, right? You make a good case. All right. And then before you know it, we're all over here trying to rename Franks and Beans, Beans and Franks, and trying to rename peanut butter and jelly, jelly and peanut butter. And we will not stop. And we're raising money. And all of a sudden we have a movement. And people are like, how did this thing even start? And people are like, saw it on TV. Katie Couric told me. The war against the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So yeah, the odds of her not knowing what's going on in her workplace is bullshit. Especially since your job information, essentially. I think that there was some time that never really knew. And I tried to understand why he behaved that way, the way he did. The way he did. I think, oh, come on. You can't follow this with a blue line. Fuck you, Today Show. You all suck. I think that today I think what I realized is that there was a side of Matt I never really knew, and I tried to understand why he behaved the way he was so reckless and callous and honestly abusive to other women. I just don't believe you, Katie Couric. Addressing the fallout in her book, which includes personal text messages to which include personal messages the two exchange following Lauer's firing. Couric writes, I know Matt thinks I betrayed him and that makes me sad. Ah, you put messages in your book, text in your oh boy. All right. Yeah, you did betray him, but you're a shitty person. But he betrayed me too. By how he so it's a tit for tat game of betrayal. Oh, but he betrayed. I think she's over. But he betrayed me too by how he behaved behind closed doors at the show we both cared about so much. Ah, you suck. Are part of an overall theme in which Couric 64 holds nothing back and sharing many inside details of her time at NBC, ABC, CBS, and Yahoo News. Going There hit shelves on October 26th. I want to kind of share the messy what real life was like, Kirk said, that you don't live real life. I think you see all sides of me and my truth. I feel my truth. A phrase that is really begin to piss me off over the last 2 years. My truth. I feel comfortable with that. I think it's kind of an emotional roller coaster. She covers everything from her family being blighted with racist and suffering. She covers everything from her family being blighted with racists. So you're from an eating disorder as a young woman to some fraud interaction with high-level executives during her time in television. Early reviews of her book have focused in the workplace and her at time unsparing remarks about former colleagues and public figures, including late broadcaster Larry King, former CBS head Les Moonves, and Martha Stewart. These people also have friends in the game, BBC and CBS to fucking Yahoo News. As asked if she was worried about the reaction the book might get, Kirk said she felt it been widely misrepresented. I think the tone and the spirit and the content of the book is like the type of headlines. I understand. Get your reading right, Sean. I don't think the tone and the spirit and the content of the book is like the tabloid headlines I understand are kind of portraying it. Like tabloid head, these weird sentences. I don't think the spirit of the book is like the tabloid headlines I understand are kind of portraying it. The tabloid headlines I understand are kind of portraying it. There needs to be something there. It's honest, but it's very complimentary about many people. I think I'm harshest on myself. It's very self-critical. It's very complimentary on many people. Who are those many people? One of those self-critical passages involves Kirk describing specifically leaving out a statement by late Supreme Court Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg. A racist thing she said. That's why Ginsburg. Whew, man, some of the racist shit we get from people who are supposed to be on our side. God damn it, this fucking mouse is really pissing me off. All right, you put it somewhere and then it moves. All right. One of the self-critical passages involve Couric describing specifically leaving out a statement by late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in an interview when Couric was at Yahoo. She said she did it to protect Ginsburg's reputation. It's not your job to protect anybody's reputation. According to Couric, Ginsburg said the former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who drew criticism for kneeling during the national anthem in protest of police brutality, and systemic racism, and other players who chose to kneel had contempt for a government that had made it possible for their parents and grandparents to live a decent life. Speaking of Couric said leaving the line out, her finished piece on Ginsburg was a mistake. Yeah. Are you there to write a story or are you there to write a puff piece? Ultimately, I think I should have included it, she said, but I also think it's really important to look at what I did include. She had to make a statement afterwards saying her comments were harsh and dismissive. Yeah, yeah. Katie Couric is a mess. People don't like Katie Couric. She's one of those I'm pretty and I'm talented and I deserve stuff kind of people vibe. And it's been that way forever. And now you're 70 and you're still that person. Look, do people change? Yeah, people change. Are you the same person you was when you were 19, 20? I would argue, yeah. Yeah. A little more seasoned, a little more different. You gave up some things. But if you're an asshole, you're an asshole still. Let's look up her reputation, see if anybody's saying here are Juice's parts of Kerry Girls book. 60 Minutes Kerry Girls was way lazy and disengaged. What year is this? February 17, 2021. The untold story, the untold truth of Katie Couric, Nikki Swift. She got on TV because she was young and cute. She had a lovely smile, and she was and that's how they play these things. I hate to say it, not because she was talented or smart or broke a major story. And Sawyer. What is going on with my Katie Couric on Diane? I wonder who she blew this time. Wow. Yeah, in the juicy new tale, Katie Couric comes across as Brad, and Sawyer is a Machiavellian, often inscrutable workaholic. I want to know what women are doing in the workplace. For her to act like she didn't know any of this nonsense was going on is nonsense. 3 things I learned from spending the day with Katie Couric. How to burn bridges, baby. Katie Couric reviews herself as a misogynistic idiot. She was lazy and distant. Yeah, she doesn't have a good reputation. CNN self-affects Katie Couric's editing scandals, further damaging media's reputation. Now she regrets it after it's all out. You're supposed to be a news person. What you were was a socialite in the news game. Katie Couric just revealed why she left. She really left the Today Show 1 week ago. Katie Couric is why herself to be a misogynist and don't buy this book, New York Post. Jeff Simmons, the double reverse hype of Katie Couric's new book. The double reverse. Katie Couric wasn't the first. FDR, Truman, and the Jews. Here's the thing. He's okay. Off topic. Prince Andrew. One, nothing's happening to him. Stop putting this in the newspaper. If he came back here on his private jet, he's not going to prison. And people keep acting like he's banned from America. He'll take 10 years off. This whole thing will get settled. And then after 5 or 10 years of it being settled, he'll show up here in some small capacity to test it. Katie Couric chips in her 2 cents on Andrew. What did she have to say? And they all know. They all know. I'm scanning for Katie Couric. All right. Meanwhile, back in New York, as if Andrew needed another voice chiming in from the sidelines, Katie Couric takes a moment in her new book on herself, going there to have a swipe at Andrew. To be sure, Miss Couric has other more resolutely American and bigger fish to fry. The last scene in a steady cam on camera gig. The last scene in a steady what? Though last seen in a steady on-camera gig. Okay, a steady cam is what I got. Last seen in a steady on-camera gig, not a steady cam gig. I was like, she does steady cam. Uh, I think on-camera gig at a relatively 18, which she promptly departed. The prime focus of Miss Kirk's tone is understandably on her glory years at NBC and CBS, not on what happened at Dana and Andrews on December 2nd, 2010 at Epstein's mansion. She was at Epstein's mansion. All right. I mean, who didn't know this? Will not happen at dinner December 2nd, 20. But she's Katie Couric. But she's Katie Couric, and she was there. So oh my god, and I think I don't know if my eyes are going or my speech is going, but reading is hard all of a sudden. Ooh, yeah, she's got nothing else to do since no one will hire her. I'm officially over Alyssa Milano, right? And if those of you who follow me, that whole believe all women thing had me next to myself. I was like, how the fuck are you going to believe all of one group like no one in that group lies? And then how are you going to be angry at the men for pointing this out? This sounds like just mind control of people. We're women and you listen to us kind of shit. And there's a lot of that going on. Oh man. All right, so let's see what we got. Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck about voting rights. All right. Because it's helpful. Sorry about that. I hit something and everything went to schmutz. For this kind of magic, please like and subscribe. We're here every day. 6:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sundays we're here 7:30 a.m. Come get some of that. It's good for your soul. All right. So what did she say? But she's Katie Couric, and she was there. So in the leaks section, she takes the opportunity to breezily dispatch the events by describing Andrew's familiarity with each other. Miss Couric is a good reporter, so it's nice to have the Epstein living room account in the canon, but there's a bit of context that unfortunately seemed to recede in Miss Court's retelling. And this was a dinner arranged for Epstein by Epstein's friends and the New Yorker's go-to PR agent for media and for Hollywood, Peggy Siegel, expressly in ugh, what is going on with this stream? Expressly in order to rehabilitate Epstein socially after his conviction. She was at his thing after he was convicted of pedophilia. Good job, Katie. Uh, Epstein socially after his federal conviction and jail sentence for procuring a minor for the purposes of prostitution in Florida. Siegel didn't say that to the invitees, or of course that George Stephanopoulos was there, would have been well aware of an Epstein conviction. Handler, who was by a large margin the young outlier of the group that evening. Chelsea Handler, the comedian. Okay. Uh, asked her whether she'd like to have dinner with Andrew. This was shortly before the wedding of Andrew's nephew William to Kate Middleton. Do you want to have dinner with Prince Andrew? So it was a fair assumption that some of the other guests, possibly Miss Couric, were similarly coaxed in by Miss Siegel. So okay, let's get this. Jeffrey Epstein needed to fix his image. So he hired this Seagal woman, good Lord, and she invited people over. using enticements, right? Some, oh hey, the Prince of England, a Prince of England is going to be there. Your reporters, maybe you can interview the Prince. Got to come to the dinner, right? Other people, oh hey, you're an actress. So and so, the great producer is going to be there. I can get you a dinner. You're up and coming, Chelsea Handler or whatever. I can get you a meeting with so and so. You should. He's going to be at the dinner. You should come to the dinner. Um, yeah, I think that's the way it went down. Who knows who was there, but in any event, Andrew then on his famous long weekend visit to Epstein in order to he visited him for a long weekend to sever ties, as he described it in his one interview with the BBC. I visit some normally people just sever ties was for the bait for the Epstein American celebrity guest, as he described it in one interview with the BBC. Was the bait for the Epstein's American celebrity guest. What Miss Couric participated in that night was a bracing round of what we could call every washing. In a sense, that a man of some notoriety invites a celebrity to some glorious locale, also known as the largest mansion in New York, and they wash him a very sleazy service. All right, so they're saying this is like washing money, right? If I see you with all these people that everybody like, people will then eventually it'll wear out on me. But that's not the way that works. Like your good energy does not rub off on me if I'm a bad dude. This was vile. This Seagull woman. In addition to Woody Allen, the attendees were Katie Couric, Charlie Rose, Woody Allen's wife Soon Yi, pundit George Stephanopoulos, and comedian talk show host Chelsea Handler. So there weren't that many of them. There was like 8 people there. I thought it was no, that I guess that would be a presidential dinner or something where you have 50 people at your house eating. But this is a more of an intimate dinner of like 10 people. So it was Woody Allen, who's got a weird sexual history that almost ended him. Katie Couric, Charlie Rose, who was fired for weird sexual shit. Woody Allen's wife, pundit George Stephanopoulos, who shilled for Bill Clinton, who's got a weird sexual history, and comedian talk show Chelsea Handler, who is just a comedian talk show host. Okay. Wow. All were willing to lend their name in the case of Couric at that moment in time. To lend their, in the case of Couric at that moment in time, stellar presence and imprimatur to the event. What does imprimatur mean? So she was a big thing in 2010. Now she's not a big thing. And an official license by the Roman Catholic Church to print an ecclesiastic or religious. Oh, so they're saying they had the power to resurrect his whole deal to the event, and by extension to Epstein. That dinner party stands as the paradigmatic. Oh my God, another dynamic diagram of how Jeffrey Epstein succeeded in rehabbing his reputation in New York. Serving as a typical example of something paradigmatic. Paradigmatic. All right. So he used some people who knew people, and he brought bigger people that they want to be with, but they all had to meet at his house while he did this. How did he get the Prince there? Because he probably got some tape of the Prince, 15-year-old or some shit, right? I'm just assuming. I'm obviously totally wrong. But that, I mean, otherwise, how would you get here? Right? It's called blackmail. Right? Blackmail about money. Wow. The fucking elites. And how Jefferson succeeded in rehabbing his New York, slithering out from under his Florida conviction and continue his ghastly operation for another 9 years. To put it diplomatically, given her journalistic credentials and her past work, it disappoints that Miss Couric addresses little of that narrative. Wow. Yeah. Katie Curry is big old giant slice of crap. Wow. All right. That. Oh no, man. Braves 5, Dodgers 2. I think oh man, this whole thing is 5-2. What inning are we in? End of the seventh. Oh my God. I remember, I want to say it was a trillion years ago when I was a young boy. They were up by 3-0, and someone fought back to win it 4-3. Man, 4 runs in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. Gotta love baseball, people. All right. I guess this is where we're going to end it. I'm going to thank all of you for coming through. Like and subscribe. We are here every day talking wild looseness about the ebb and flow. About the ebb and flow. I think I have to get a new hat. This hat used to be jet black, like dark blue. And I think it's funny because it's all sunburnt and stuff. Well, you can see how dark it was on the inside. But amazing that the logo hasn't changed, right? Except for the white. The red got a little more burgundy because it's dirty, and the blue got a little more musty. But I figured they would change too. The way the sun works. If I left this, eventually the sun would begin to eat it out, and it would be. But this one is a bleach white. Everything I'm wearing now, every day on a desert island, it would eventually all be bleached white, not spotless white, like the movies. But white. Yeah, the things you learn, remember from TV as a kid, super important. All right, so I'm going to put this knife down for having a weapon. So I'm going to start keeping a list of the things we talk about. Because we gain a lot of that's strong. We might need to get another one of these. It is 8:30. We've been here a little longer than we normally are. I want to thank everybody for coming through. Everybody. I want to thank William, you for coming through. I'm trying to figure out. See, here's the thing before I go. I don't miss a lot of the stuff I gave up on television, but the one thing I consistently miss, is sports. Now, I can't believe no one has a sports network to play everything. I have to either go to, the Yankees network or, there should be just, it's the undoing of America. Yeah. Katie Curry apparently has helped to undo America, apparently. Hanging out with Epstein. I wonder what Chelsea Handler said about Epstein's dinner. I'm sure she said something. Chelsea Handler recalls weird dinner at Jeffrey Epstein's home. February 8, 2021, February 6, 2021, February 4, 2021. I guess that's when it began to okay, Indy100.com, RepublicWorld.com, Pop Culture, Guest of a Guest.com. I'm just looking to see if any major news organizations picked it up, and of course they didn't. Remember, when weird shit happens, people let it go until a third, fourth, or fifth group uncovered and I heard that. I saw that today. My homie is like really like happy about it. Chelsea Handler recalls. Did I close this again? I did, didn't I? Dag nabbit. All right, hold on. Let's put this up. We're going to be one more thing before we sign off. We just want to see what Miss Handler had to say about the good like graviness. Ooh, all right. The stories that are trending. Salt Bay London restaurants being flooded with negative reviews. Aunt who paid for nephew's winning lottery ticket demands the money. She paid for the lottery ticket? Hooters girl criticized new uniform featuring tiny shorts. It's Hooters. What do you think you was going to be wearing? Groom kicks female member out of wedding after white dress prank. Why are you doing pranks at people's weddings? People don't have any fucking. Bartender quiz after boss says he can't get drunk on days off. You can't get drunk on days off at the bar? That's not you can't get drunk on days off. That's don't drink here. You work here, don't come here and drink. That's perfectly legitimate. I'm just gonna assume that's what happened. You haven't got Farage scolded on Irish Tea about the IRA video. Okay. Adele says what everyone is saying with views on Hancock affair. I don't even know what any of this is. Yeah, people do dumb shit all the time, and people play it. So yeah, and you can do it. It's your body. You're 700 pounds. Knock yourself out. Wear a mesh dress. But the idea that nobody can go, that's stupid, or they're somehow evil for even like having an opposing view of it, is where I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever. And I think a lot of this is fucking bait. Like I'm gonna wear this, and people are gonna see me, and then I'm gonna trend, and then they're gonna say mean things about my body, and then it's that. It's a trap. I mean, that's bait. Yeah, from Mad Max Fury Road. So they has a restaurant. Calls out GMB as male counterpart given title, but she's not. I guess this is England. Think this is England. Who said Richard Manley or Alan Part? Yeah, this is England. Addis TikTok ban. Oh, she got banned from TikTok. Ugh, oh, well, how will you ever recover? All right, so let's hear this quick story. Oh, good. We're gonna read this, then we're out. Is it really hard to believe though? Is it really hard to believe? I was like, man, I can't believe it. They killed him in a super secure location, like a federal jail, which is supposed to have cameras everywhere. And the two people you charge for it are like the guards, right? They were sleeping on duty, or they weren't. They were supposed to check every 40 minutes, and they didn't. And then you throw the book at them. It's stealing money. It's they gonna face 7 years in jail for. Fuck you. Fuck you. You know why you're there because of Epstein, and you know they didn't kill him. So in whole we're tough on crime all the time. You always throw the book at the working class people. Too more just trying to like keep the lights on and pay the rent. But you're gonna charge them. Did they choke out Epstein? Come on. Ugh. If you ever wondered what dinner party with Epstein, Prince Andrew, Woody Allen would have been like, comedian Chelsea Handler has the answer. Handler was admittedly weirded out while attending a celebrity-packed dinner party at the late financier's and sex offender's home around 20 years ago. She dropped this information on the literal with Rob Lowe. She dropped this giant nugget on Rob Lowe. Hold on. First of all, when is this again? February 7th, 2021 at 10:05 a.m. or p.m. We're just gonna go a.m. The events. This is February. This is 8 months ago. 9 months ago. She dropped this information at the Law Pirate. She described the very strange events with the financier who reportedly died by suicide in jail while being held without bail pending trial on child sex trafficking charges. He had been convicted of child sex offenses previously. I did go to dinner at Jeffrey Epstein's house. I didn't know who Jeffrey Epstein was. It was like 20. I was like 20. Wait, this happened 10 years ago. Guess how old is she? Was like 20. This bitch is not fucking 30. How old is Chelsea Handler? All right, we're gonna do the math on you, Chelsea. No disrespect to women who like to lie about their age, but seriously, um, what is up with how low this thing is going? Born 1975, age 46. So 10 years ago, you were not 20. All right. This dinner happened in 2020. All right. Uh, Handler was admittedly weirded out. This is taking a long while to read these 3 paragraphs. Handler was admittedly weirded out while attending a celebrity packed dinner party at late financiers and sex offenders home around 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Hold it. This supposed to happen in 2010 or 2000. What did we just read? God Lord. I'm just trying to get my dates right. Um you know what? I'll look it up later. Because I could have sworn. Oh, she did not get famous at 20. Has she? Good Lord. Is my mind playing tricks on me? Who have been like, come in, da, da, da. If you ever wondered what dinner party, like, we're going to restart from the top. If you ever wondered what dinner party with Jeffrey Epstein, excuse me, Prince Andrew, and Woody Allen would have been like, comedian Chelsea Handler has the answer. Handler was admittedly weirded out while attending a celebrity packed dinner party at the late financier and sex offender's home around 20 years ago, which puts it at 2001. Yeah, 2001. Because we're in 2021 now, right, Sean? Okay, good job. Can't fool me. Handler was admittedly weirded out while attending the celebrity park party 20 years ago. She dropped this information, described the very strange evening with the financier who reportedly died. He had been convicted of child sex offenses previously. Handler told Lowe, I did go to dinner at Jeffrey Epstein's house. I didn't know who Jeffrey Epstein was. It was like 20. It was like 20. I don't know what year it was, but it was a long time ago. I went with Katie Couric, Woody Allen, and Soon-Yi Previn were there. Charlie Rose was there. I was at the dinner party, but not for very long. When we got there, I was like, what is this gathering? Oh yeah, Prince Andrew was there with Andrew was there with no one. He was there with Jeffrey Epstein. So he was there with no security, no aid, no anything. Like a free person, right? Huh. And it was so awkward and so weird. I was like, what are we doing here? And then I asked Woody Allen how he and Soon Yi met, and that was when I left. I don't think she did that at the party. Um, and that's when I like, Low interrupted. Wait a minute. You asked Woody Allen how he and Soon Yi met. Previn is well known to be adopted daughter of Allen's ex Mia Farrow. Allen has himself been accused of sex offenses by his adopted daughter Dylan Farrow. He denies all allegations. Prince Andrew has intense scrutiny for his former friendship with Epstein. Virginia Louise Giuffre claims she was trafficked Virginia Louise Gouffre claims she was trafficked by Epstein and forced to have sex with the prince when she was 17. She strongly denies this. Handler said that after her faux pas with Allen, she made a swift exit from the party, which was the only time she ever saw Epstein. She added that the party was very confusing. Epstein was known for hosting dinner parties with famous and powerful guests and had friendships with Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Donald Trump. Yeah, I think he would set up this party, he'd get you drunk, all your people would be gone, and then he would invite these girls up. Oh no, man, they're over 21. And then he's got cameras in his house and he would have you having sex with these girls. And then, but some of the people were saying, do we want to go with they're saying that he thought he could come because he was out of America, right? He thought he could come back to America because he had the goods on Clinton, right? And he had the goods on Trump. So he was like, well, either I can get Clinton to give me a pardon, right? Because I got the goods on him, or I can get Trump to give me a pardon because I got the goods on him, right? Um, Now, at that level, the government, look, man, I hate to be the voice of reason here, but the government has a whole bunch of trained killers running around, and they will assign one to you. And that's what it strikes me is what happened. You're not going to say, hey, I got video of Bill Clinton getting a blowy by a 15-year-old and then be on the Today Show talking about it. Because then all your enemies, everybody's up running the tape and look at America, right? So remember, these people are the embodiment of the country walking around in shoes and shirts and ties, right? They are. Take it seriously, but other people take it very fucking seriously. You're not going to disrespect the president. Oh, not disrespect. You're not going to not bribe. What is it? Blackmail a sitting president or a former president of the United States. I mean, but they still have a lot of juice. People are ridiculous. So that's what a lot of people believe. And I'm like, come on. They didn't even give him bail, so they could kill him at a beach house. Alan Dershowitz is very strange about this thing because he's all around this too, and no one talks about him. And I think it's because he's a lawyer and he'll threaten lawsuits, and lawyers know how to get money from you when you don't get a guilty conviction. And my thing is this: if Alan Dershowitz is guilty, he should be the first one to be taken down. The government went in there, took all of Epstein's shit, right? They took it all the videotapes, so they know what they got. They know who's oh my god, when you are, I think you did it. They know who's not acquitted. They know who's not instigated. Oh good lord, what is going on in my mind? Anyway, they know. It's sad, but it's true. Alan Dershowitz only got a massage and he kept his pants on. That was hysterical. I could not stop laughing at that. And then he immediately said, if you accuse me of being this, I'm taking that right to court. And that's it. Lawyers run this place. And this is why this place is a shit show. America doesn't really stand for anything. It really doesn't. And that's a sad thing. It doesn't really stand for anything. Everything is keep away. And the people who keep it away make a ton of money. A ton of money. All right. So it is 8:45. I'm going to go and find a meal I've been eating. I'm glad my internet is back, even though it's a little shifty. As soon as I said that, the whole thing would shift. Yeah, people protect the children. Look, if you seriously protected the children, not just yours or his, in 30 years, you would have almost no crime rate. I really do believe that you're breaking people in order to arrest them in 10 years, right? You're keeping people out of college in order so they can bike your delivery goods to you, right, in 10 years or all this other sinister kind of stuff. uh yeah, I got some fun to, I hate to say it, but it's true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, spoons and forks, leaves and grass, I your money, your homie, your boy. I'm out of here. All right. So remember, every day, please come on through, like and subscribe. It's super important. It helps the channel, helps me figure out what I'm doing with my life. If I go, oh, several more people like our conversations. Yeah, excellent. Uh, I want to thank you, William. You are fucking awesome, dude. You really are. All right, I'm calling it 2 hours and 16 minutes. It's an hour longer than we normally go. All right, 2 hours and 16 minutes. Tomorrow I'm going to start keeping things we talk about to make sure we're on point. Hopefully tomorrow the internet connection will be better because man, this one was close. I was like, I wonder if I can do this thing on my phone. So I was getting my phone or ready. And if I ever do it on my phone, I was like, I'm only going to do 20 minutes on my phone. So if I ever have to not do it on my setup here, my rig, as we gamers call it, my gamer rig, if I can't do it here, I'll try to drop 20 minutes on the phone. But we're in it every day for the next, I can't keep saying 1,000 days because we've got to be around the 800 day mark. So we got another 800 days at least to go, 850 days. We out of here. I want you to protect yourself, your family, and your friends. But you can't do that unless you look after yourself. So try to deal with the stress however you can deal with it. I think that's music, art, something something other than TV, exercise, right? Something other than TV. I don't, be a little more forthright with people. People shouldn't always have to guess what you're thinking. Sometimes you should just go, I think this. And I'm talking about in your everyday dailies, right? Especially you ladies, tell your man what you think. He shouldn't have to guess. If he has to guess, give him a fucking break. If he guesses wrong, how's that on him? Right? Just tell him what you want. You're a grown ass fucking woman. And vice versa, guys. You know, stop being a stoic rock. You know, women are emotional creatures. Tell them what you think. Tell them what you feel. Give them your honest and best assessment. Um, and if it doesn't work out, you know that you were right and honest by it. Right? But everybody isn't the enemy. It isn't always someone else's fault. Sometimes we fall in this relationship game. We falter, but you can get up, brush yourself off, and re-engage, and that's good. But everything isn't your enemy like TV tells it that's who it is. Everybody isn't out to get you. But you should be out to get you some goodness. You know what I mean? Get some of that stress from your arteries or get out into the world and then when you see TV and stuff, take it with a grain of salt. That is the truth. Because trust me, you found in 10 years later that people are hanging out with Epstein, and now we'll tell you 10 years later because they have to write a book. You didn't know Epstein was a pedophile 10 years ago after his conviction? You suck as a person, Katie Couric. All right, that's it. We would like to thank all of you for coming through. We are here every day, 7 days a week, 6:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and Sunday mornings, 7:30 a.m. for the Sunday session. The Sunday session, if you show up, it cleanses your soul. It'll absolve you for all but cardinal sins, and you're good. Uh, don't, how can I say this? Don't be too hard on yourself, all right? And I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. And remember, I'm for you. I don't know you personally, but I am for you. All right. So that's it for us. We are officially on the exit. Peace out.